Hello everyone, welcome back to Mastering SQL Server, our comprehensive training program. In this session, we move into part 10 where I will be guiding you through SQL Server functions. This is a topic I have worked with extensively for over a decade across real-world projects. So the focus here will be on the practical uses, best practices, and the scenario you are likely to face in production environments. If you haven't completed part 9 yet, I strongly recommend going through it first as it introduces a few key concepts that will help you follow the session more effectively. Let's get started. So, what is the function in SQL Server? So, a function is a program will perform a specific task when it is executed. A function in SQL Server is a database object that accepts input parameter, perform logic or calculations, and returns a value or a table. Function will reduce the repetition of writing the same code for several times. Function will have return type and will return a value. In function, DML statement will not be used. Function will contain select statement and other procedural statements. It can be used in set queries like select, where, join, etc. So five functions are used. Uh, so in a in real projects, functions are used to avoid repeating complex logic in many queries. It standardizes business rules, that is the calculations, tax logics, formattings. It improves readability of queries. It encapsulates calculation that belongs close to the data. Here is an example. Instead of repeating an age calculation everywhere, you write once and reuse it. So the types of functions, there are mainly two types of functions. First one is the predefined or the system or the built-in functions, and the another one is the user-defined functions. So let's go through uh, these one by one. So the first one is the predefined or system or built-in functions. So these are the functions provided by the SQL Server out of the box. Following are the predefined or the system or built-in functions. Here are the string functions. So the string functions are the length, substring, upper, lower, trim, trim, rtrims. So the next system or predefined function is the date functions. So date functions are the get date, date difference, date add, year, month, day. Okay, and then another system or predefined function is the math functions. So it includes absolute, abs, round, ceiling, and floor. And the another one is the conversion function. So it includes the cast and the convert. So here is the example of get the date difference. Okay, select date difference, then year, then here is the date and the get date. Okay, so these functions are heavily optimized and should always be preferred over custom logic when available. So let's see this date difference function in the real time. Okay, so here uh, is this the different function. So it gives us 30. Okay, so if we put this as the 90, then it gives us the difference is 35 years. Okay, now the second type of function is the user defined function, which can be called as the UDF. So these are the functions that is created by you. Okay, so here is the syntax of the functions, user defined functions. The create function, function name, then the arguments, then returns, then the return data type as begin, the logic, and then return value and the end. Okay, so here is the example of this the user defined functions. Let's see this in real time. Let me create this function. Okay, I have created these functions, and let me execute this function. Okay, so I'm passing uh, the date as the input parameter, and it gives me the year, okay, as 33. So here it returns integer, and we are returning the age as integer. So to call the functions, to call or execute function, you can use the select dbo.function name, then the list of arguments. To view the function in the current database, we can use this syntax. Let's see this in practical. Here you can see the one function that is we created just now. Okay, okay. So next, to view the statements in the current function, we can use the sp_help text, then function name. Let's see this in a real time. So here is the function name. Let's check. So here is the statements that we have used inside the each functions. Okay. Now, so to delete the function, we can use the drop function and then the function name. Let's see this is in a real time. Let me delete this. Okay. Now function is deleted. So when you execute these statements, the select statements, then you won't see any function is created yet. Okay. Now, so there are multiple types of the user-defined functions, and those are the scalar functions, inline table value functions, and the multi-statement table value functions. So we can see this one by one. So the first one is the scalar functions. Okay, so the scalar functions may or may not have a parameter, but it always return a single or the scalar values. The return value can be of any type except the text, in-text, image, cursor, and the timestamp. Here is one point we need to keep in mind, that is when calling a scalar user-defined functions, you must supply a two-part name, that is owner name dot function name. Here is an example of select let's create this function again. Okay, so here is an example of this one. It gives the owner name and the function name. Okay, or you can also give invoke by using compute three part name, that is the database name, owner name, the function name. Let's uh, check this in real time. So here is the database name, then the owner name, and the function name. So it gives us the same. Okay, now the second user defined type function is the inline table type table valued function. So a scalar function returns a scalar value, and the inline table valued function returns a table. So here some points we need to keep in mind, that are we specify table as the return type instead of an scalar data type. The function body is not enclosed between begin and end blocks. The structure of the table that gets returned is determined by the select statement within the function. So here is the real-time example. Okay, let's check this in a real time. So let me create a function. That is the function get employee by department name. Then the input parameter is the department name, and it returns the value. It don't have the as means begin int statement. Okay. Now function is created. Okay. Let's execute this one. So here you see the result, that is employee name, employee number, employee name, salary, and the department is IT. Okay. So where we can use inline table value functions. So inline table value functions can be used to achieve the functionality of a parameterized view, or the table written by the table value function can also be used in a joins with other tables. So let's see the third type, that is the multi-statement table value functions. So it can contain the multiple SQL statements. It uses the begin and end statement. Table structure is defined explicitly. It's slightly slower compared to inline functions, and use it when logic is complex. So here is the example of a multi-line multi-statement table value functions. So let's check this in real time. Let's create another function. Okay, so here is the function multi amstvf get employee. Okay, and returns as a table type. Okay, now the function is created. Let's check this the value of what this function return. So it gives us the all the values. Okay, so to execute the multi-line multi-statement table valued functions, we use the select start from the function name. Okay, so the difference between inline table valued function and the multi-line table value functions are in an inline table valued function, the return clause cannot contain the structure of the table uh, the function returns, whereas in multi statement table valued function we specify the structure of the table that gets returned. In inline table valued function can't have begin and end block, whereas multi-statement table valued function can have it. Inline table valued functions are better for performance than the multi-statement table valued functions. It is possible to update the underlying table using an inline table valued functions, but not possible using multi-statement table value functions. So the important concepts related to the functions. Okay, so deterministic and non-deterministic functions. The deterministic functions always return the same result anytime they are called with a specific set of input values and gives the same state of the database. Example, the square, power, sum, average, and the count. Note all the aggregate functions are deterministic functions. Non-deterministic functions may return different results each time they are called with a specific set of input values, even if the database state they access remains the same. So example, get date and the current timestamp. So the third one is the RAND functions is a non-deterministic functions, but if you provide the seed value, the function becomes the deterministic as the same value gets returned for the same seed values. So another one is the encrypting functions. Encrypting a functions definition using the with encryption options like use with encryptions. Creating a function with schema binding options. Schema binding specifies that the function is bound to the database object that is references. When schema binding is specified, the base object cannot be modified any way they would affect the function definition. We can use the with schema binding. So we can see the example of with schema binding. So let's check this example in real time. I have created these functions. Let me call this function. So what is the function name? And let me remove this DBO first. Let me give the function name and let me give the input as one. So it gives the name Vijay. Okay. Now we can see the real-time example with schema binding functions. Okay. Let's check this in a real time. Okay. Now so it gives you the name as Sanjay. Okay. So this is all about the functions in SQL Server. If you feel this session is useful to you, please feel free to like, subscribe, and follow our Changitech channels. Thank you.